Incredible price action today for AMC. I have something very exciting to talk to you guys about regarding a statistical upside that we have already been looking at. The signal has fired, and we will go ahead and touch bases on that at some point at this video. Let's go ahead and start now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with an AMC technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this Hump Day Wednesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, so we are looking at AMC on the daily chart right here, and this chart is actually in reference to the large ascending channel that we've actually been riding, and we actually talked about the potentials of finding the floor right in the area where we have already done. Okay, so let's go ahead and now zoom right back in so that we can see the details of what's happening in the price action. Please remember that the daily does not reflect anything in the after hours trading. Okay, so in this aspect, we can actually see that we definitely found that floor within the targets that we were talking about. Okay, so we definitely did not come back down to the channel bottom like we did, but rest assured that we had done it already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times prior to this. Okay, so everything is looking healthy and everything is looking very good for the AMC asset. Okay, you guys, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. Okay, so this is now in reference to the other supports that we were looking at for the immediate short-term time frame as well. And as you can see, this large hammer candle is actually not something that I like to see at the top of a trend. However, we do have a wick on the prior candle here. Another thing that you should notice, that you should know, is actually that I do not like to practice candle analysis, which is already silly, right? At the smaller time frames. So 4 hour is something that I don't like to practice that candle analysis on. I would like to see candles, at the minimum 8 hour time frames and up, as they will actually start to show a little bit of more success or a better strike rate when they are in higher term time frames. I know a lot of people use them in momentum trading and scalp trading, day trading and all that good stuff. More power to everybody. In my style, I actually tend to look at candle analysis last in shorter time frames, but in this case, this is actually a pretty large candle to consider, since we did get that massive pump to the upside, which actually looks like it could have just been a quick little take profit and then it pumped right back up, allowing more bulls to gain that entrance. So upon facing a candle like this has the power to flash our momentum, meaning that it has it can actually present a little bit of sideways trading bias for our RSI, not particular to the stochastic momentum, which has to do with our statistical upsides. Okay, so in this case, we just want to warn that we don't like to see these things usually at the top. I know that we have a higher wick right here, and then we actually got this this candle printed just under that, right? So creating it's just my point is that we want to make sure that we don't print these when we're on an upside, right? So because they usually present a downside continuation. We do want to print these when we're on the downside, okay? Meaning that we're here. When we print an inverted candle like this, or a hammer candle even inversely, this usually presents an upside continuation, which is very good. Okay, so let's go ahead and now move on to that exciting statistical side. Okay, as this will essentially lead into some further upside price action in the coming days. Okay, so this is in reference to the descending channel that we've been looking at as well, and this is also let's see. So this is actually a daily BBWP. Man, let's go ahead and back to the daily, but I would like to actually touch on the 8 hour in this case. Okay, do not pay attention to this because this is a daily back test, okay, of BBWP versus volatility represented by BBWP versus momentum. Okay, so the exciting thing here is that we're actually looking at volatility retrace from critical volatility, which is within the 90 percentile. And now we're starting to get that upside on momentum on the 8 hour time frame. So this is very exciting. I now am compelled to run a back test of the 8 hour time frame to see how much upside, that we can actually face based on this criteria, which is already fired. And it was actually fired at the beginning of this candle here, which was the opening of $4.65, of which we faced a high, let's see, of about $5.27 today. Okay, so this is very exciting for us. We want to be able to see these types of moves because there absolutely could be a massive upside to follow. Okay, you guys. So for example, here we actually did start the contraction phase, right? We started that downside just like here. We started the downside below that 90% line, right? So we started that, I'm sorry, right over here. So we failed that, I'm sorry, we gained outside of that 90% sign, and then we actually made a move to the upside, of which we then accumulated and made an even larger move to the upside. Okay, so these types of things that are happening between volatility versus momentum are pretty powerful. So I would like to see the amount of times that we've actually had run-ups like this. For example, here we started that contraction phase to the downside alongside momentum, pivoted from the downside right where, I mean, actually we're even a little bit deeper right now. Okay, we're slightly deeper than that area. Let's go ahead and make a trend line just like this so that we can have reference as to where we're sitting. Okay, so in reference to this particular iteration here, you can see that we're even slightly below lower than it. So this case, we actually started contracting and then we made a massive move to the upside. Okay, so this is very, very exciting stuff. Upon making that upside, we actually just came back and reaccumulated it and continued. Does that look familiar to what's happening here? Right. So that, so it's just, you know, statistics actually present the potentials of some serious upside for us. Okay, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and actually run a back test on that. Here's another iteration right over here to where we actually started contracting to the downside. Price action took us all the way down here and pumped all the way up there. Let's just go ahead and take a measurement of what happened in this iteration here. You can actually see that that was about a 58% move to the upside. Very healthy and very, very, very much needed for the AMC asset, as this type of price action would actually encourage more bulls to step in and pressure the price action even further to the upside. Okay, you guys. So this is what I actually wanted to talk to you guys about. I was very excited to see what is happening here on the 8-hour time frame, because this setup is setting up for something very, very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and now reference the RSI, and it's actually the last part of the analysis here. So you're looking at the let's see, the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, suggesting a little bit of consolidation, just like we were talking about when facing this type of candle right over here. Okay, you guys. So please notice that yes, it is 4:53 p.m. We're still looking at a continuation of this for the last, actually, this is going to be closing pretty shortly. So we're now at $5.19 and continuing that upside. Okay, so this is likely flashing our momentum. Okay, please notice that the RSI now is pivoted towards the upside. We do have a little bit of resistance right over here, which would essentially mean that we're going to face a little bit of a touch before a continuation onto the downside, and then face another bounce just like we did here from the gravitational zone in which we currently are. And this is why we're being pulled and pulled and pulled to the upside. You'll likely see this flap and flap and flap as time passes, right? So let's go ahead and now take a look at the buy hourly. The buy hourly is now in the bull strength percentile. Okay, very good stuff. The only difference is that for example, this iteration actually didn't continue on to the upside and came back down. Now it actually just came slightly back up. The reason why is because we're in the gravitational zone of the bull strength percentile. Okay, so this is actually trying to pressure us to the downside, but the bulls are not taking that as an answer whatsoever. We have a hint right here from the 14-day simple suggesting a continuation to the upside. Very good stuff. Now the 6-hour time frame is suggesting a little bit of consolidation as well. This is likely to be affected if the price action does continue on to touch that 14-day simple on the 30-minute. Okay, so this would actually get pressured slightly to the upside if we do finish the day on the green, which is, by the way, still happening. Okay, so let's see. Yes, and now let's go ahead and reference the 12-hour time frame. This one's going to be a little harder for us to move within the time frame that we have left. We would actually need a serious FOMO pump in order for us to flap this to the upside like we've been flapping this one, right? Flap. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I just, I'm rarely talking to you guys when the markets are still open. So It's funny the words that just come out as I'm trying to explain to you what I see and what's happening, right? So please go ahead and now reference the daily time frame. And as you can see here, the daily time frame does have a little bit of limitation on that upside, right? We have the 14-day simple moving average in the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. Okay, so this is likely for us to find some type of resistance. I mean, it's part of the natural ebb and flow, right? So let's go ahead and take a range from the prior 4-hour iteration. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a fib in a natural way, right? So we can actually face a resistance touch anywhere between 527 and $5.38 before actually coming back down and testing our current highs of about 520, 519 before a continuation onto the upside. So everything is still looking good here for the AMC asset. Okay, please notice also that we have some upside continuation here from the buy daily, but very exciting here is that the 14-day is now getting pressured to the upside by the RSI signal, and we're approaching, guess where? Oh yes, this is good. We're approaching the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile, which would essentially take us to the upside. Good stuff. Now, the 3-day time frame, take a look at this, guys. It's looking very hot. This is absolutely giving us the validation of the statistical upside on the 8-hour chart. We have now faced that great support from the 14-day simple moving average and are now pivoted towards the upside and suggesting a continuation as such. And also with the 5-day, take a look at this, you guys. Very healthy price action for AMC. Things are looking up for the asset. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're actually now, we're away from the danger zone, sorry, which is actually it would be actually 2% from that 40% bear line, okay? So the bear line being this red line. So we actually just count 2% to the upside, and that would tell you that you're inside of the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. You can see now that we're clearly above it and have now validated the 14-day simple as support. So this is very good stuff. Weekly time frame still suggesting that upside and just outside of that gravitational zone too. Guys, this is looking awesome for AMC. Yes. All right, you guys. So please remember not to fall for those comments below, okay, that say to WhatsApp me, that say to let's invest or let me trade your money. Guys, that's not me. I would never actually provide my contact information on my handle where it says at ARCa. Okay, that's just silly, guys. Please do not fall for those as they are trying to take your capital and run free. Okay, do not let them take your hard-earned cash. It is not me talking. I would never ask you to do that. Okay, you guys, neither would anyone in the ARCa Bulls trading team. Okay, you guys, we are not about that, and I am not either. Okay, you guys, please refer to the links in the description below if you would like to gather yourself an account with TradingView software. We can actually look at one more thing in price action here and see how we're doing with the ARC Enhanced MACD, which is actually a Crypstex indicator that actually gives us volatility versus momentum just the way that I show you like this. Okay, so we've actually compiled this strategy into one indicator for your ease of use. Okay, so this is actually something I use very often, and you can see right here that we're very tightly contracted in the 4-hour time frame, and now we're starting that expansion. Okay, now alongside having volatility represented by the Bollinger Bands and momentum represented by the MACD average, we also have bear and bull signals. Okay, please notice that we actually got our bull signal printed here. Okay, very good stuff. We just printed it today, and now the momentum is suggesting a continuation to that upside even still. Okay, so this is expanding volatility, and now we're starting to get the green dots, which would essentially tell us that we're still continuing on to that upside. If you are interested in acquiring these indicators, please go ahead and send me a DM, and we'll go ahead and go over the subscription packages to obtain all of these awesome indicators. Okay, you guys, please reach out to me via email. Actually, you can find it on the about section of the YouTube account where it says for business inquiries. Okay, so go ahead and send me a DM on Twitter or even on Discord. Okay, you guys, but I think this is a pretty good place to leave off. With that said, I wish you well a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.